Hello, everyone. Hello. This is the second live chat, live event. Welcome, welcome. My name is Espiritu. Hello. So I'm gonna invite Mestre Poncianinho, but I still have to figure out how this works. Hey, Mestre, I'm gonna invite you right now. What's up, Vitamina? Hola.
Yay!
Hey.
Hey,
How are you?
que legal.
Yes,
I'm good.
yes.
Can you
Can you
see
see
me
me well?
well? I can see you very well. It looks like I am, because I've got this, and I don't know if this is good or bad.
I can.
If it
Yeah,
gets better.
it's okay. It's clear. It's
Is this
clear.
okay?
Nice. First of all,
Oh,
thank
good.
you for
Okay.
participating in my little project, man.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you.
It's so nice to
Thank
see
you.
you and you're looking
Likewise.
well.
You've been really busy,
Thank
so
you.
things. What you been up to? What are you doing? What if you not new projects or
Sure, sure. Well, first I wanted to
no
say thank you so
problem?
much for inviting me to do
Yeah.
this. If you don't mind me starting with that, I can see some of my good friends already in there. Bateria. Um, Bateria, I'll be sending you a message
Ah,
this week, okay? We're talking about going to Mexico. Boa noite, gente. Boa noite. Olha só. I first want to say
yeah,
thank you so much. And this will be in
yeah,
English, right? Am I right to say that? In English, yeah. I was very happy when you
mhm,
invited me. Yes, I have been very busy, but also you and I have we have a story together because I think when I met you, one thing that was so interesting for me was your energy, really. And I remember when I first
yeah.
watched you, when I first watched you playing, I remember thinking,
Oh,
that's the kind of thing I like. Just this energy, just
yeah.
bursting in the heart and wanting to explore all the things. So I was
Mhm.
actually so happy when you invited me. I don't know how this works. Does other people
Yeah,
can see that
yeah,
I am
yeah.
live as well
This
on
is
my
all new
Instagram?
for me
Oh,
too. This
that's
is my
great.
second time I'm
That's
doing
good.
this. I just figured things out, and
Amazing.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like just deal with it. Just like capoeira game.
amazing. Yeah, yeah. It's new. This is my second live, and then
Oh yeah,
later on I have the
yeah,
other live,
yeah,
which is the book live about the.
yeah,
But I have been very
yeah,
busy.
yeah.
Should
Go,
I
yeah.
carry on or? Yeah. Okay. So I have been
Hmm.
actually one thing that is happening in my life is that I've realized. I mean, I've always knew this, but a very very big part of my life
Yeah.
really is practicing, training.
Hmm.
It is a big part of my life, and I think whenever in my life
Yeah.
I let that go a little bit, that has always been, I'm not going to say the lowest point, but that has always been when now when I think about, these were the times where I was less far from, let's say, what I would think some
Yeah.
kind of truth in how I see the practice of capoeira. I know that word is very complex when you say that. Nevertheless, I have always felt that. So now that I'm able to go back to that, then I feel
Yeah.
much more in tune with what really means
Yeah.
um, to
Yeah.
be a
You have to
capoeirista, really, in
just
many ways. Yeah. So yes. So I have much more time for that. Well, wasn't much more time. That's not true, but I have more time for that now because obviously
no.
my children are no
Yeah.
longer children; they're
Cool.
much bigger. They're
Yeah.
teenagers, so that changed the dynamics a lot. So I have more time to do that, to do what I used
Yeah.
to do on my daily routine. And I feel that that sparks everything else, because if it's not too early to go into this kind of deep meaning stuff, for me practicing, for me it's so meaningful in my life. It really is. It gives a lot of meaning to my life because it just open up so many avenues of what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing, how I
Yeah.
change my
Yeah.
practice, and it's going to go on. And this is very optimistic.
Yeah.
I'm not pessimist, but it's
Yeah.
going to go
That's
on,
really nice.
you know.
Really nice to hear from the perspective, you know, because I think if you just keep on moving, you will learn. You will open another doors. You know, you will learn it. You will learn from yourself
Yes.
again, and that's why I think it's
Yes.
so beautiful about, you know, self learning, self teaching as well. Just to keep you busy. You know, I'm training as well. I mix with, you know, capoeira with some fitness calisthenics, but always try some new things out because you never stop learning, and I don't want to stop
Never
learning as well. So
stop
you
learning.
always figure things out, and along the way you
Yeah.
discover yourself, your new self, you know. So yeah,
Yes.
I can understand where you're coming from. This here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just going to say as well to anybody who joined from Brazil, alguém que chegou do Brasil aí, tá? A gente tem essas duas lives que eu tô fazendo aqui com meu grande amigo espírito. E aquela live que vocês também estão esperando do livro é às 9 horas daqui, que é às 5 horas da tarde do Brasil. Então, por isso que a gente tá falando em inglês essa uma, tá bom? Mas não sai não, gente. Vamos ficar aí também. Vamos aprender um pouco de inglês. Tá bom? Então, só para vocês saberem que depois a gente volta às 9 horas da noite com a minha live, tá?
Yeah.
So exactly. I think specifically this week, I've been thinking, and I've been talking a lot about this idea of always learning. And I know it's a cliche, and we say, oh, I'm always learning. Sometimes it's precisely because it's something that is so common that maybe we don't take full attention, to put full attention to what actually means to really be learning the whole time. And I think to be learning, I haven't got an answer. I do not have an answer to what it is to be learning, but I know some things that help. And one thing that I feel is you have your practice, you have your, whatever you want to call it, your system, your method, your style, you have all of this, but you also have this ability. And this comes with experience. As I said, these things are not easy to kind of explain in 5 minutes, but you also have your ability to really navigate with the moment and what is happening in that moment, you know. And today a student of mine sent me something that I thought was so beautiful, which she said, she said, I feel your work relates to this. Now I'm talking about my own work now, but just to give you an idea.
Yeah, no, go.
If you allow me to blow my own trumpet for 2 minutes.
We got the platform right now, so
but she said I feel it relates a lot to your style, which is you do value technique, but you are ready to surrender to the spirit of the moment.
Wow.
Oh. And I thought, you know, and today something so amazing happened in my class.
Yes.
I have to tell you. Can I tell you? I was talking about these things, and I have 2 students. One have started to train with me not that long ago, and another one have been training with me for long ago. And gente, então só lembrando vocês que então eu já escrevi a mensagem aqui do inglês. Daqui a 1 hora eu vou abrir a minha live, que vai ser sobre o livro. Por favor, voltem. Porque essa live é com o meu amigo aqui, tá bom? Lembrem disso. Depois dessa live tem outra live, que é o sorteio. So they played at the end of the roda. They were playing. Okay. Her name is Luisa and Trina. They are both, you know, incredible, but they were playing, and I started to slow down the music a lot. There's something in me just wanted to slow down, and I used the pandeiro. I had a very beautiful pandeiro they gave me for my birthday, a beautiful pandeiro. So I started to slow down, and it started to go slower than everybody expected, and the battery starts to go with that. And then you could see them too realizing this change. And then they start to, I mean, this is all very simple stuff saying like this, but then they start to really change. The body language starts to become very lush, and like they've changed the way they play. But because everybody started to understand this project that started to happen, the people around the roda tuned to that. the music tuned to each other, they tuned to the music tuned to
Nice.
them. It was so magical. And they end up at,
Yeah.
they finished, and they absolutely validated what I believe what capoeira really is. They didn't do, it wasn't about doing a backflip or a somersault, or if they did, fine, but it wasn't about that. It
Yes.
was about
That's the
connecting.
key thing in capoeira, connection. Yeah.
That
Yes.
connection when you play,
Yeah.
that's a chapter on its own. And so that's what I was saying
Yes.
about surrendering to the moment. That's tying to the thing. So it's surrendering to the moment. If I had something really stuck in my head
Yeah.
of how it had to be done, and they had something stuck in their head of how it had to be done, all of these
No.
things, then that would have not worked. But because we all surrendered
Yeah. Yeah.
to rhythm, we truly surrendered to rhythm,
I
so
believe
that
if you
changed a
just
lot.
surrender in that moment, you will unlock your potential, what you can achieve at that moment, you know? Because I've had it many times when I just like play and let the music flow, you know, and I didn't even think, I just let it go, let it go. The energy, it takes me in the harder, and I do all the crazy stuff in the moment, and
Yeah,
people coming afterwards, coming towards me and asking, hey, how did you do that movement? I was like, I don't remember.
you don't even
I can't
remember.
even show you right now because
Yeah,
I was in that moment. And
yeah. Absolutely. That is definitely what I
yeah,
well, that's
yeah,
a
yeah,
share. That's basically what, because a share, what a share means. I'm just gonna press. I think this is correct. I'm not
yeah,
doing
yeah,
anything
yes.
wrong. You can see me well. Yeah. A, a share for me is, well, a share comes from the word which symbolizes the energies of spiritual energies
Yeah,
that will allow, in candomblé, a shell would represent something like this: the energies, the spiritual energies that will help us to
yeah,
create something on earth, something like that, or will help us with
yeah.
the ceremony, the
Hmm.
energies of the spiritual that will help with the ceremony. Okay. Now, in capoeira, that metaphor in a
Hmm.
secular way, not in a religious way, becomes the energies, the invisible energies. What are those energies? The way we connect us, the other, the invisible energy that will help us to
Yes,
create
yeah,
our ceremony. So, and so when you have moments like that, we are truly, not just poetically, we're truly
yeah.
manifesting that energy.
That's it's true.
Yeah.
It's really true. Because for me personally, I'm
Yeah.
so aware and sensitive about the energy around me, you know, because when I just what you've been talking about, my energy when we first met, you know, I think it's because
Yes.
when we go way back, when I met you, I remember because I've seen you, I heard about you, I've seen your videos, you know, and I wanted to meet you. So I
Mhm.
trained really hard, to push me really hard to have a game with you. So when I saw
Wow.
you, my energy was already there,
Beautiful.
you know. So play with Poncianinho because
Wow.
the way you play, the way you play, I was like really connected with me, you know. Well, okay, I want to challenge myself. I want
Mm.
to connect with that kind of energy, like you had with my energy, you know. So okay, let's get. And then we
Yeah.
had that game,
Yes. Yes.
and that unfortunately it's not on tape, not on video. Yeah,
I know that game
yeah,
was. I have to say, I remember it was somewhere else, because I mean, again, we don't know if we did anything
no,
good in
we were
terms of
connected.
technique, but we
Yes,
certainly
and
connected. Yeah. I remember one moment I just saw you. I remember one moment I saw you flying over my
I had to
head.
escape.
And I Yeah, I remember that, and I'm thinking, this is interesting. He's really going over my head.
Yeah,
You took a
but
flight. Oh, I think I remember saying something to you after, like,
yeah,
is that what they call you, spirit?
yes,
Or like, I know. Do you remember that? I said something to you. I said something like, oh, I understand why your name is Spiritu. You've certainly got this
thank
spirit.
you,
I mean, it's a fantastic name. Yeah.
yeah,
It's a,
that's,
yeah.
that kind
It's
of
the first
energy, it
one.
was really
Yeah.
connecting. We
Yeah.
were really hyped at the moment, you know. And after the game, was like I was exhausted, but also like satisfied, you know. So I like kind of capoeira game. And like you
Yeah.
said, it's not for me. It's not all about the fancy movements. It's not about backflips or
No,
girar de mão.
no.
Now it's about the connection with the person you're playing with that moment. You know, also stay in tune with the
Yeah.
music, with the bateria. That's for me. That's
Yes.
capoeira. That's the axé.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, you just said something else that's really important because, you know, I'm sure there are other teachers here. I can see here other teachers that I recognize and friends of mine. Um, and maybe they can say something about this. And thank you so
Thank you
much,
guys
guys,
for participating.
for for being here with us. Thank you so much. I do think that these things are. I'm very careful not to sound preachy about this because I don't think that's my place at all. But as I age, and this actually gives me more a sense of responsibility, because as I age, I feel that there is a necessity to some of these things to actually to be spoken, because a lot of people report to me after how they start to feel after they just change a little bit the way they visualize these things. And I think there's a lot of people entering the hod. I mean, this
Yeah.
is a generalization, and I'm not trying. I know it's a generalization, but we have to be careful not to just shake hand and go and be completely neglecting what's happening with the bateria and the music. I mean, sometimes there's not a look. There isn't anything that surrenders to the other. What a beautiful word, to surrender to someone else as you go and play. Listen, these things for me are not just philosophical. I really
Yeah.
do try these things. I don't always succeed. I encounter challenge. I encounter moments where I feel I wasn't my kindest and
Yeah.
I feel like I should have done better, but I write these moments down. I think about these moments. I take a stoic. Capoeiristas would benefit a lot from studying a little bit of Stoic philosophy, and then when I do feel that I can surrender, sometimes even to the person who doesn't have the best of
Yeah.
intentions, it changes the energy because you become
Yes.
more aware
Yeah.
of everything else. But when the focus is so much in what is happening just inside you or how you're going to perform, then that's very hard.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult line
Yeah.
to calibrate, of course. Because I've just got a book from a student of mine, and I don't have the book. I should have prepared better. I don't have the book. I didn't think of this, but anyway, in this book, it's talking about a common thread between top athletes and
Yeah.
top performers. Okay, so it's very difficult to say what makes top athletes and top
Yeah.
performers the best of what they can. So why was Whitney Houston amazing? Why was Usain Bolt? Why is Usain Bolt amazing? All this. However, there are some common threads, and one common thread is that most of these people know how to work with the
Yes.
environment.
No.
They are not just thinking about themselves. They are working with the environment. So what's our environment?
Yeah.
Our environment is the roda, the music, the texture of the instruments,
Yes.
the people around the roda. How you go to a roda sometimes and maybe just I have been to many rodas where you just see I don't know, maybe you just see the teachers playing, which is fine. We need moments like that. We need moments like that. We absolutely need moments like that. I tell my students, I say, look, of course, there are moments we're going to sit down. That happened to me. I was in Bahia
Of course.
once. Can I tell you one
I
story
always
about this
go.
that illustrates this really well? I think I have a story that really shows this because it happened to
Yeah.
me and I feel after I've learned a lot from it. So I'm sitting in a roda and everybody knows how obsessed I am with Mestre João Grande.
Yeah.
I have the hat. By the
Oh,
way,
really?
this is signed by
Nice.
him. This is signed by him.
Cool.
Yeah. So proper fun. Now it's not
Nice.
little bit fun. Proper fun. Uh, so I'm a young
Yeah.
man. I was a young man, and I'm sitting in the roda, and I've met him before. I knew him well, but I've never played capoeira with Mestre João Grande. So I'm sitting in the roda, and he's playing one person, another person, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is it. This is it. He's gonna play me. It's gonna happen. Today's the day. I'm gonna play Mestre João Grande. My life will change. My superhero. He's my superhero. And I wanted, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I wanted, and I wanted photos. I didn't necessarily want people to film. I was not. This is way before Instagram. Trust me, way before Instagram. I don't even. I think I had a YouTube channel already, but I don't know if I actually did have. Anyway, but I wanted to register that moment, right? This kind of thing. Mom, did you see, Mom? Did you see me, Mom? Look, Mom, no hands. And so he plays and plays and plays. But this is what happened. I started to get more and more anxious whether he was going to play me or not. And I was not even paying attention to anything. That's the sad part. I don't remember what he was doing. I was not interacting. My whole thing was about, and you can understand, again, of course, it's okay. I was a young boy and all of that. When it got to me, he was quite tired, not personal. He stopped one game before me. And I had such a knot in my throat. And I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry. And for me, event, I was upset because then, okay, cut to many years later. I'm thinking about this. I'm studying my behavior of the past. Absolutely. We need to learn from things we did, right? It's very easy to say where you are now, but what happened before? And then I started to think about all these points. How much could I have watched him and just being there tranquil and just enjoying every moment and learning? If he played me, wonderful. I would have been in a better mindset. I would have been in a better energy for him as well. If he didn't play me, I would have enjoyed the game, But it was me. And he didn't play me. I didn't learn from. I learned. It was a great lesson now for me to take, and I missed an opportunity. And I was not my best for the rest of the event because I was, I was spoiled. I was spoiled. So that's a spoiled behavior. Childish, because we should be childlike, but not childish. So that story for me really illustrates this idea of patience, maybe even the anxiety. Vitas is saying the anxiety disconnected from yourself and all around you, right? Yes. And do you know why I think that, Vitas? Because when you are, this comes from the power of now idea. If I am here physically, I'm here now talking to you spiritually, you guys are here, that's 20 people here, we're going to have another 100 in a minute. If I'm talking to you guys here, but my mind is somewhere else, that gap between where I am to where my mind is can generate anxiety. So I was sitting in a roda, but because my mind was only in, is he going to play me or not? I created a time gap between what was happening and what I wanted to do, and that creates anxiety. We all go through that as well when we are scared of playing. How many people here, how many people here were scared? I have been to rodas where I was scared. I was scared to enter. My legs, when you feel the floor is not there, you feel like someone's going to go like this, look, and you're going to fall.
You're so busy in here. It's so busy in here.
It's so busy in here. And, so I have learned with the ears. I'm learning, that's the best way. I'm learning to attach and connect, attach in the sense of attach strings, another string to my bow, of what things calm my mind, relax my body, keeps me sharp as well, because you don't want to be, you don't just want to be relaxed, You want to have the combination
Focus,
of relaxed
yes.
and focused.
Yeah.
And that's the difficulty. When you watch a great performer,
Yeah.
you know, of course, that person is relaxed. You don't want to see the person tense, but it's not relaxed to the point where it's not. It's focus and relax, and that is the juicy part when you can do
balance
both.
is really a key thing, you know. Nice, beautiful story.
Yeah,
Beautiful story.
absolutely.
I think all people.
Thank you. Yeah,
No, no.
you have to
I
stop me, otherwise I keep
yeah,
going. So
but
I'm sure you've got questions
yeah,
there, and
but
maybe
that's why
other
I'm doing
people
this
have
as well
questions.
to listen and to learn from other stories. You know, that
Yeah,
I love
sure.
talking about stuff that I love to do, but also love to listen
Yes.
about different perspective, different story from different kind of people. You know, that's why I'm doing this kind of thing, just to soak
Mhm.
it all in and having a conversation like that. You know, but I do have a question.
One.
Because you
Yes.
again you started in Coral, and when for you was the transition
Mm.
to change your style? Do you
Mhm.
consider yourself as an
Mhm.
Angolero? Why?
Ah, oh gosh,
Yeah.
hang on, hang on. That wasn't in a
Did you write
contract.
the
Hang on,
little letters?
hang on. Hang on a minute. Okay, I'm very happy to answer all of these questions. So yeah, so the first thing, yes. So we had so my father started capoeira with
Yeah.
a few different masters.
Mhm.
This is back in the 70s, and he was his first master was from Rio de Janeiro. Okay, yeah. His name was Cledir. His name is Cledir. He's still alive, very much alive. Thank good.
Mhm.
So his name is Cledir, ok? Só fazendo uma lembrança rapidamente, quem chegou agora, volte de novo às 5 horas, que é a nossa live do livro, tá bom? Essa aqui é com o meu amigo aqui. Então, Espírito, so Cledir was kind of a street capoeira. It was quite tough, but at the same time, quite this master that I know very well, he's a wonderful person. Wonderful person, a lot of integrity, and he doesn't work with capoeira anymore. It was something that he did when he was younger, but he nevertheless really did introduce my father to capoeira. And then my father had a group which was called Conceição da Praia. We still have t-shirts from that time. Yeah, and if you look, there's a video of mine.
I've seen this video with your father.
1986.
Yes, I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's a video that I cherish a lot because it's such a rare thing. Nobody had a camera. It was someone just there on the day tourist filming, you know. So you can see Conceição da Praia, which means Our Lady, as in Our Lady of the Praia, the beach. So anyway, so that was our group, and then yes, indeed, my father went in Corão de Ouro, which is where we stayed for the biggest chunk of my teenage years. That was it. That was that time. Now, I must say, because I was really, really there, I was really a part of a very interesting time where things in capoeira were changing so much. Okay, I was literally in meetings when masters would discuss the groups becoming big. I remember these things, you know. So I was there in those really interesting times of big changes in capoeira. Let's remember, although I'm not old, I'm from a time where you invited someone to your event with a handwritten letter. You went to the person's academy and you gave a letter written by hand to invite to your batizado. I remember letters being posted on a thing to say about the batizados, the events, you know. So I'm from that time. And why am I telling all of this? Why am I giving this context? Because in that time, I hear masters talking about this from the old generation, and even I'm so young in capoeira. Even in my generation, I can already sound like perhaps like an old person by saying in my time. But in that time, that separation of the separation of Angola Regional was very much in there, especially contemporary, was very much in there. But there were so many capoeiristas that touch upon so many things in different ways that we didn't have this kind of really harsh indoctrination of this is right, this is you, this is not you. You know. So for example, when I was a teenager, my thing was to impersonate the masters. You know, I don't do it now because now I'm an adult, looks ridiculous. But when I was a child, when I was a teenager, people used, at the end of the event, the masters themselves would sit down and say, Poncianinho, can you do Mestre Canjiquinha? Poncianinho, can you do, you know, it was like a party trick of mine. So think about, I was studying a style, but I was really studying these things. And I got obsessed with some languages of capoeira. And I'm going to say again, look, I'll be honest with you. When I was 12 and 13, when I was 13 is when I started to really enjoy my training more. Before, I didn't. I was a young... When I was a child, I enjoyed. I loved capoeira when I was a child. Then when I was a pre-teenager, I really had conflicts.
Nice.
I did not want to be there. I wanted to do other things. I was a teenager. I wanted to do other things. But by the time I was 13, so there was a brief 2-3 years of really complex stuff. But when I was 13, I became obsessed. I really did became obsessed. That was it. If I tell you my training routine now, it would be we could make a film if I can, if I would say myself. Yeah. So I have notes of this. I started making notes very young. I have notes of teenage years, right? Where I would study how many I would study which mestres were on tiptoes, which mestres were on the ball of the foot, on the heel. I would study which mestres were, I have notes of mestres that used to play very forward, mestres that used to play looking around. I was going on a crazy world, you know. I was inventing a world of my own in capoeira, training with my father, which is, this is what I believe, is that you have your mestre, your teacher, your mestre. It's not there to teach you everything, but it's certainly there providing a fertile ground for you to grow. And I will always honor that. So, did I learn to do a head spin with my father? No. But I learned to do a head spin because of my father. Yes, in many ways, yes. Because he was there, he was providing, he was watching. I felt a sense of duty. I felt a sense of responsibility, that I wanted to be good. So if someone did a hand spin, eu também iria fazer um hand spin, né? Acabei de ver aqui, ó. Audácia para as mulheres. Audácia para as mulheres. Sejam bem-vindas. Muito obrigado. Lembrando que às 9 horas da noite aqui, às 5 horas do Brasil, tem a outra live, tá bom? É por isso que a gente está falando em inglês. Essa é uma aqui. A outra vai ser em português também. And of course, Spirit is welcome to join if you want. I know we're just going to have our live, but if you want to pop in as well, okay. So I was inventing this whole universe. So there in many ways, I was always touching upon different things. Now I'm going to tell you right now here, because I'm not ducking the question, deviating from the question. When I was 13, I really became obsessed with Mestre João Grande on a major scale. Okay, teenager. I'm not joking or exaggerating. In my book, in my school book, my friend next to me would have Spider-Man picture. I had Mestre João Grande. There was an album. Listen to this. I went to a shop to do photocopy. There was no computer. I went to a shop and I said, can you do a photocopy of this for me? And the guy did a photocopy and I put it on my book, a photo of him. Yeah? And so he was my superhero. So the reason why I'm telling all of this is because I wasn't aware of all the politics of Angolan Regional.
No.
I just did not care. Now I think I was lucky. I was lucky. So I was doing whatever I wanted in terms of learning that stuff. Now, there were criticism, and I was paying a price because I was going to rodas where people were playing very different. And they were going, what's he doing? What's all this stuff here? And all of these things. And of course, I was embodying the language of Mestre João Grande. I'm never gonna deny that from far, not even being his student. But my father always allowed. My father always supported that. He never went. No, he would do his training. He never went against that. You know. Also, my father also studied with Mestre Gato Preto as well. So he had. So he has his lineage. You know, in my school, there were Angoleiros all the time. All the time. All the time. There wasn't this, it wasn't like, you know, no, this guy don't enter here. All the time. To be honest with you, we had people from a capoeira that is like, let's say, more general, cordão de ouro, this kind of styles, they were more free. And we had more Angoleiros, and we had regional mestres, more than contemporary capoeira. That's the truth in my school. Although we did have, but for example, Mestre, my father, his godfather in capoeira is Mestre Nenel, Mestre Pimba's son. Yeah, that's my father's godfather. So there's, you know, Mestre Nenel. You know, but if you look at a capoeira do Mestre Nenel, essa capoeira, meu, I love it so much. É a coisa mais linda. Eu fico, sabe, eu me sinto bem assim. Quando eu vejo esses mestres, eu sinto realmente estou começando mesmo. I feel I'm starting from zero when I see mestres, you know. Just so much sincerity in the movement, you know. Anyway, so then I have been molding these things. So yes, now I'm conscious that what I would have been calling at that time was that. But for example, Mestre No, for example, Mestre Paulo dos Anjos. Now, did I have classes with all of these masters? Some I did, others I didn't. No, but I was a teenage boy who, you know, if you are a teenage boy who starts to play guitar and you want to play like a certain band, and then if you carry on with it, maybe one day you develop your own style. But you can say, oh, I used to listen to, you know, the Rolling Stones.
Starts, right? That was me. You have to start somewhere. First of all, you start mimicking your heroes, and then later you try to make your own, you know.
That's right. That's right. That was me. That was me. So that's my journey. So there isn't a point exactly where you can say, there really isn't, because there isn't a point where you can say, oh, from this day, he starts to play different. I can show you a clip right now. I think you know what I'm going to say, because if I show you a clip, there's a video of me playing Mestre, training with Mestre Cláudio Angoleiro. When I was 13 years old, look at that clip. I'm like this. I was in my school, 13 years old. And I just look like an Angoleiro there, like we would call it now, you know. And then you're going to find another clip where I'm playing, doing acrobatics.
So you merge,
you know, so
both worlds.
Yeah, that's right. So what I will say to you is that there was always, because people can say to me, so what's your style then? So that's the question that is very hard. That's the question that will open a lot of polemic, because, well, I maybe won't, because I know people are very kind and they're willing to listen to my side of the story. But I think that there was a time in capoeira history where it would have been totally acceptable for me to just say, I do capoeira Angola. I think that would be. But for many reasons, that's not something I would be comfortable with saying now. Also because I would not like to offend those who are what we call the Angoleiros, who, you know, devote their life to one specific genre. So I genuinely would not like to offend anybody and to suggest. I know that the world of Capoeira Angola, especially as we see today, it's not something that you're just going to say, you know, obviously, you're just going to put a hat on and say, it doesn't work like that. So I feel that if you ask me, I would say that I am actually a contemporary capoeirista, because that's what we all are in many ways. We are contemporary capoeiristas. And I say that because if you ask me, what's your style? I think it's to do with blending all my training, my practice with the environment now. How do I do that? How do I navigate this world? So and I just saw another message here from Vitas. So when people say to me, well, so you don't know what you are, I say, look, I know many things that I'm not, but I do not have a concealed full idea of what I am. I don't. I'm developing. I am developing. I don't know. Who knows where I'm going to be in 5 years' time with my style, with my capoeira? I don't know. But that does. But there's something very important here. To say that does not mean that you don't conquer grounds. So if tomorrow I come here and I say, listen, guys, I've changed and I think now we should punch each other in the face, then you should go, what's happening? People lose faith because I feel I've conquered a ground, which is
True.
I don't believe in aggression. So I doubt that in a few years' time I would change to an aggressive capoeira. That's not going to happen. If that happens, something is very wrong. Because when you say you don't fully know where you are, it doesn't mean that you're not conquering grounds. You are conquering grounds. Many things stay and they don't change for good reasons. But other things really do change because we are artists. We are bouncing off each other. Do you know why the masters of the Renaissance, why they created this incredible art, that all of those masters from Leonardo da Vinci to Michelangelo, these incredible painters and sculptors, one of the reasons why they were like that is because they were constantly in each other's workshops.
Exactly.
They were constantly studying each other's. There wasn't one bubble. None of them became a master just in one bubble without any influence from other people whatsoever. That says a lot about art for us, you know. So if you ask me, I would say capoeirista. Very happy to say capoeirista. If you ask me, I would say capoeira contemporary. I know that gives an idea of what contemporary is, but for me, contemporary means how can you blend your life with your moment now.
Makes sense. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great answer. Great answer. Great answer.
Thank you.
I have another question. What was for you to become a mastery at such a young age? Because I can imagine, because you were quite young. Exactly. It's really young.
27.
How was it for you in back then, and how you look at it now? You know.
Sure. Vou responder. Só vou lembrar que chegou aqui o Clips Cosmopolita, que eu amo. É um grupo maravilhoso que todo mundo deve seguir e ver lá, que são maravilhosos. E lembrando vocês, se vocês puderem voltar às 5 horas da tarde, que vai ser a minha live do livro, tá bom? Sorry I keep talking about the book, but it's because I know some people will confuse and they think that that's happening now, so I'm just reminding everybody. Então, por isso que a gente está falando em inglês, porque é um trabalho que eu estou fazendo aqui com meu amigo, Mestre Espírito. E should I call you contramestre ou mestre? Professor. Desculpa. Com o professor Espírito, mas às 5 horas da tarde de Brasil, eu vou voltar para fazer o sorteio do livro. Então, todo mundo que chegou aqui, eu vi o Saguinha aqui, chegou agora também. Se vocês puderem voltar, aí o Kevin, voltar às 5 horas da tarde, aí a gente vai fazer uma live em português, tá bom? So, the last question was about being a young master, right? Look, I'm gonna tell you, I had... it was tough.
Imagine. Come on, you're 27 years. You get the biggest title.
Guys, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It was not roses. Believe you me, I did not have a easy time at all. I think if I didn't have some kind of resilience, I would have perished. Yeah. So I think what held me is because I started at a very young age. The first photo of capoeira that I've got ever was taken by my mother, and I'm doing this jump I don't have it here with me, but I'm doing this jump. It's a beautiful photo, if I may say. And my father is doing a kick, and I'm kind of flying in the air, falling in a queda de três. And my mother and my father were not together. So whenever I saw my mom, it was a very rare, it was the best thing in my life. And now I think back, there's something about that moment where I'm flying in the air and my father's doing a kick and my mother captured that. And for me, there was something in that moment that always spoke to me about what it's true in my life. Anyway, before it gets a bit too crazy. So now I fast forward a little bit to becoming a young master. Why that story is relevant is because I felt that as hard as it was, I would do the cliche, I'm going to break or make. And I felt a sense of duty. And I felt a sense of honoring my father and my mother. So whenever I had a really hard time, I wanted to honor. The other thing to say as well, Spirit, I think is very important I say this. I got a title of a Mestre, but I was so deeply in love with Capoeira that no matter how hard that was, no matter if I believed or not, no matter if I felt I was or not, no matter if I felt like a Mestre or not, the love for practice. Do you remember I said in the beginning how practice has always been? I think I was so conditioned to train Capoeira that for me in my life not to train is such a weird thing that I don't know who I am, because it's a bit I mean, it's not very good comparison, but it's a bit like a dog. I've just been trained so much to do that, and that's what I'm happy doing, you know. So whenever I wasn't doing that, so I could not stop, you know. By the time I was a young Mestre, that was it. I was going to go through anything. I was going to go through anything. And then we think about the hero's journey. Oh, Derek just joined. Hello, Derek. So I'm thinking about the hero's journey, which is you start somewhere and then there is a kind of awakening, right? You discover you've got to go through a certain journey, and then you go through that journey, and then in that journey you have challenges, you have some mentors that will help you. Think any journey, one of Lord of the Rings, Spider-Man, any film is always related to the same thing, the hero's journey. You go through all of these moments to come back where you began, but now you come back different. So I just felt I now have too many instruments to give my back to this title. But the other thing is a great master, which I don't want to say who, because I'm not sure if you'd like me to say this, but he's wonderful. He's really wonderful. He's such a kind person. And one day I asked him, it's the only person I ever asked this question. He's wonderful. He's a really big, important person in my life. I said to him, I said, Mestre, how do you feel about me being a master at such a young age? He said two things. He said, Poncianinho, he's so sincere, you believe it. For me, there isn't masters of Capoeira. It's very, very guru-like what he said. There are no masters of Capoeira. We are all mastering ourselves. I know it's cliche, but that worked for me. And I just went, so you own that title. That title is given to you so you can master yourself. So now I'll tell you one thing that I really think about this idea of master. I've changed a little bit with this, because I feel that there is a better word even. I'm happy with the word master, but there's a better word, which is maestro. And I'm going to say, let me tell you why I think that's a better word. Because if you go and watch an orchestra, okay, right? So the maestro, Capoeira Post just joined. How wonderful. Thank you so much for everything you do, my friend. I'm so happy. Boa noite, amigo. Boa noite. Just lembrando que daqui a uma hora não, daqui a uma hora eu vou fazer a live do meu livro, tá bom? So, coming back to your question, a maestro, if you watch an orchestra, the maestro is not there because it's exercise. There is a hierarchy. He or she is the boss, but he or she, they are not there to exercise the title of master. What is the role of a maestro? Is to make the orchestra play their best. So a maestro, it's a conductor of energy. A maestro is someone who makes everyone play by the best way that they can play, to say, oh, I worked with an orchestra here and it changed my view completely. So the maestro was saying something like this. I remember I was watching the rehearsal, and then he's this kind of really big conductor here, the London Philharmonic, and he stopped, right? So that's my maestro baton here. He stopped and he went, I think your violin, it's a little bit too intense. Can you just bring a different energy to it? And I was thinking, what he's doing, he's equalizing the energy of the space, the energy of the environment. Masters are nothing to do with just having a title, just saying, I'm a master, I'm a master. That could be what takes your creativity away. If you see yourself as a title, it takes your creativity away. But if you are a master, fine. We get wonderful. Let's honor this beautiful title. My father gave me that title. I don't care if I was 5 years old or 50 years old. I'm gonna own that, right? But then be a conductor. Learn how to equalize the energy around you. Learn to be passionate about the music that you play. Learn to be passionate about the way people play capoeira. You know, I see a lot of people that they don't appreciate fragility. I love fragility. I say this, people go, what? Yes.
Exactly.
Open your eyes for fragile styles that we want those people to get braver, courageous, strong, empowered, confident. Yes. But to start in a fragile state and be appreciated, it's so beautiful. You know, because if you think that being a capoeirista is about being tough the whole time and being strong the whole time, we're going to have one energy only. We're going to have this energy. But we want to have different kinds of energy. Instead
of fighting.
We need to have a forest of energy. So we need to have a tiger. We need to have a lion. We need to have a butterfly. We need to have a butterfly. And you know the story of the butterfly. Have I told you the story of the butterfly?
Yes.
Can I tell you the story of the butterfly? A friend of mine, Irineu Nogueira, a lot of you knows Irineu Nogueira. One day he said to me, he said, Poncianinho, I was in this hall and I only saw one type of animal. He was making a metaphor. It was this one. Whoa, everybody was in this mode. And then that made me think so much. And I was thinking, my goodness, what animal we really don't have at the moment? It's like, we haven't got many butterflies. Think about this feeling here. This kind of feeling. How effortless a butterfly is. And then I started to develop all these butterfly-like things. This is when you're going to understand me a lot more now. This is when I started to do the thing where if I have a butterfly in my hand, very gently here, right? Imagine a butterfly just like this. And then I'm not grabbing, I'm not stopping, but the butterfly is moving. And then I follow. I follow the butterfly. I follow. I let it do what it wants to do. Sometimes it just sits on my shoulder. And then I just maybe move away again and I come back. So I started to do all these different trainings that gave me another energy. So we should be able to appreciate all these different energies. And within that will come fragility. Within that will come people that are a little bit scared of playing. Will come the brave, will come the skill. Isn't that what we don't we always
Yeah.
say
Yeah,
capoeira is about
exactly.
that? It's about welcoming
Exactly.
everybody.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And it makes sense as well because capoeira is all about the conducting of the energy and work with the energy, you know. When you play capoeira, you have the energy from the environment around you, sending energy. And it's up to us how to deal with the energy, to bend it, not to fight against it, you know. Just have just only one sense of only being aggressive. No, just try to bend it, you know. So it's really, really beautiful. Really beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are conductors of energy. Let's make no mistake. If we've got to see ourselves a
Nice.
bit more in that. Yeah. Inclusion, the art of togetherness. There's a beautiful message here from, I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm saying his name right.
Vitamina.
Is it Vita? Vita.
Yes.
Vitamina. Oh my
Yes.
God. You know him. Vitamina.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice,
that's
Messi.
wonderful.
But
Yes.
yeah, and what are you? Do you have any goals for, I don't know, a couple years for now?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very interested in um I'm very interested at the moment in the more subjective side of capoeira. Things that are very hard to describe
Yeah.
and therefore hard to
Yeah.
train and therefore hard to understand. But I'm very interested in texture, different types of textures in the game, in the movement. I am working
Cool.
on
No.
I finished a book,
Yeah.
not the song book, another book.
Cool.
No, a more philosophical book, and that's finished. And
Wow.
it's this big. It's this big. Although that might not mean anything. It could be this big. And not very interesting. But anyway, what I'm saying, there's a lot of writing. The mascote just joined. How
Hey,
wonderful.
mascote.
Mascote, boa noite, meu
Olá, mascote.
querido. É demais, né? Esse mascote é demais mesmo, cara. I watch him. I watch him.
Nice
I'm just always
videos.
like,
Nice videos. Welcome, mascote. Welcome.
so wonderful. So wonderful. Obviously very dear to me because it's just someone who now inspiring so many people. Yeah. So happy you're here. So yes, so this book that I've written, it is not out yet because I wrote in English. Yes, I did, and I think I had to because I wanted. There's a lot of dexterity in my teaching
Yes.
that comes from teaching in English, but
Yeah.
so I wanted to put that in a book. Anyway, but it has to be corrected to English. But in this book, I have a lot of philosophical approach, a lot of the way that I see how people. Because listen, deixa eu falar uma coisa para vocês. I know there's a lot of people still here. I'm not trying to defend one side or none of this, but I do meet a lot of people that just need a little bit more breath between movements, perhaps a little bit more thread between things, and they appreciate that it's not about catching the other the whole time. You know, there really is a lot of room in capoeira for creativity that is not related to scoring points. Raposa acabou de chegar, Paulo Henrique. Só lembrando vocês, se vocês puderem voltar daqui a 1 hora, eu vou estar acabando essa live com o meu amigo professor Espírito e vou estar fazendo uma live em português sobre o livro, né? Tá bom? E eu sei que algumas pessoas chegaram agora, talvez achando que é sobre o livro, mas vai ser daqui a 1 hora. Voltem, gente, voltem! Yes, so a bit more calm, because calmness, yes. Mestre Pastinha said this, right? Mestre Pastinha said, the more calm, the best. That's what he said. Quanto mais calmo, pro capoeirista, melhor, né? Obrigado, Raposa. Se puder voltar às 5 horas da tarde, vou falar um pouquinho do livro. Daqui a pouco eu mostro o livro. Vou cantar umas músicas também para vocês. Tampem os ouvidos. Bombril acabou de chegar. Oh, meu Deus do céu.
Thank you for joining.
Wonderful. How
Thank you for
wonderful.
joining. Master, I have one more question. I
Yes.
think I forgot the question, man. That's so stupid.
Oh, D, I've deviated your attention. We're talking
I just had
about
a question.
my next,
Yeah.
talking about my next
I have
plans,
a
which is
question.
the
So
obvious thing. Yeah.
we go way back. Going way back.
Yeah.
How was it for you to be, you know, in a little bit in film production? I know you did Cats as well. Did of course
Yes.
Harry
Yes.
Potter. How was that?
Yeah.
How did people approach you, and what was your feeling about that? Was it like okay, and was you satisfied with the work that you put in with Harry Potter?
Sim, sim. Então, na verdade, agora vai parecer que eu. Agora, ele que perguntou, gente. Ele perguntou dos filmes que eu fiz. Tá? Já tô avisando vocês aí, todo mundo que fala português. Ele que perguntou dos filmes que eu fiz, não foi eu que... Esse cara tá se mostrando falando de filme. A gente ficou 1 hora falando de capoeira, né? Mas já que você perguntou, eu vou falar. E só lembrando quem chegou agora, o Edson chegou agora, para voltar às 5 horas da tarde para eu cantar umas músicas do livro, tá bom? Que nós estamos encerrando essa live aqui em inglês com o professor Espírito daqui a pouquinho, tá? Uma cortesia aqui. Então, professor, to be honest, I actually done
Oh,
quite a lot
cool.
of things that people don't know. Yes, so
Now,
oh my God, I don't want to do a list thing, but for example, alguns filmes que eu não falei
yes,
muito foi o Doctor Strange. Eu tô naquela
you
muitas fighting
were in
scenes
Doctor
there.
Strange.
E
Oh, that's
Doctor
nice.
Strange, yeah. I even helped a bit with the
That,
choreography, not as a choreographer, but I
cool,
helped some of the
cool.
artists with some of the bits there. Yeah. Road, não, not Road, was it
Oh,
called? Vanity Fair, Feira da Vaidade, com aquela,
cool.
yeah, Reese Witherspoon. Aí, claro,
Yeah,
Harry Potter foi aonde tudo mudou, né? O Harry Potter, porque eu brinco sempre, eu
yeah.
brinco com os meus alunos, I always joke with my students, because my students say, Mestre, you are not still talking about Harry Potter, are you? Você não tá falando do Harry Potter ainda,
Yes,
Mestre,
of
depois de
course.
tantos anos. Você tá milking o Harry Potter. Meu Deus do céu. O Mestre Pepeto acabou de chegar. Mestre, por favor, volte às 5 horas
Mestre
da tarde, que eu vou fazer a live
Pepeto.
do sorteio, tá bom? Mestre Pepeto. Então, quando eu fiz o Harry Potter, né? Vamos falar do Harry Quando eu brinco com os meus alunos direto, eu falo, gente, vou contar outra história do Harry Potter. Não, a gente não quer ouvir falar
Novo
mais de Harry
Harry
Potter, que
Potter.
ninguém gosta do Harry Potter mais. Harry Potter. Agora, o Cats, o filme dos gatos, infelizmente a gente sabe que o
Não.
filme não teve sucesso, né? Foi mal, porque a tecnologia do filme deu errado, infelizmente. Olha quantos artistas grandes. How many
Yes,
great artists
yes,
were there? Ian McKellen,
yes.
Judi Dench, Jason
Big.
Derulo, Taylor Swift. Eu fui jantar com a Taylor Swift, eu achei maior louco, assim. Ela, assim,
Sim.
a gente sentado na rua, verdade, história. E ela, você quer comer? Ela tava comendo, tipo, chicken nuggets, né? Aí eu falei, nossa, que coisa surreal. Surreal. Nós vestidos de gato comendo chicken nuggets sentado na rua. It's a surreal moment, you know? But she's really
Cool.
nice person. Absolutely down to earth. Totally down to earth. Yeah. So anyway, but that for me was a
Okay.
very, very big change in my life because I
Yeah.
was in the character, deep in that character
Wow.
for about 6 months. And they chose me because they thought that I had a real cat-like
Yeah.
behavior when I move. So they kind of gave me this freedom.
Yeah.
Permission is even a better word. They gave me permission
Nice.
to be that. So whether the film worked or not, fine. I mean, it was wonderful. It was wonderful people, you know, great production.
Yeah,
I was one of the main cast. Although you can't see well, it was not an extra work. Não foi trabalho de esse, foi trabalho de personagem. Então, para mim, na verdade, eu fiz muito mais coisa no Cats do que no Harry Potter, em termos de personagem. Infelizmente, não apareceu tanto, porque o filme foi assim. Então, eu assisto com as pessoas, eu fico falando, ali sou eu, ali sou eu, ali sou eu. mas menino, mas eu não tô, mas eu não tô. Eu falei, claro, não, não é minha cara. But anyway, so I'm gonna tell you right now, Espírito, if you ask me, one of the most powerful experiences of my
Yeah.
entire life so far was to be a cat for
Wow.
6 months. It changed the way I move
Yeah, but
forever.
this is
There's no
kind
two
of
ways
truth
about
because
it.
if I see
No,
you play like a cat.
it
Yeah.
changed the way I move. Because the one thing about the film, again,
No.
unfortunately, you couldn't see that, but they did not want like a
No. No.
pantomime,
No. No.
like
No. No.
I'm a cat.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's the real thing. They wanted people to feel that they are cats. So we studied everything about, you have no idea. There were days where we were cats for
Yeah.
about 4 or 5
Yeah.
hours in character. So, after 2 hours and after months of doing that, you're behaving, you're studying, you're watching videos, you're watching films. There were
Yeah.
move specialists in that behavior. Combined with my own training, that was it. So I did get a lot out of those productions. So for me, it's very interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
I know some of these things will change as I age, because I'm not going to be
No.
doing Harry Potter when I'm old, But my passion is
Yeah.
teaching. It's being a capoeirista.
Mm-hmm.
I've always welcomed these things. I think, it's because I know we're running out of time, but I do think
Yeah.
performance is important for capoeira. I think there's a side of this that's really interesting. Just joined here, Rufus,
Oh,
who
cool.
was in Cats with me.
Right.
I
It's not.
just saw his name here, and he is an incredible dancer, guys. Incredible dancer. Yeah, he's definitely another cat. So I think each of these films, since you mentioned about this side of the work, they have definitely given me something in terms of
Yeah.
building a character. So although I am definitely interested in the work itself, I mean, last week I went
Cool.
to see the
Yeah.
choreographer from
Yeah.
the film, who is a good friend of mine. So yes, of course
Yeah.
I want to engage in that stuff, but I have
Mm-hmm.
definitely taken the experience, the magical world that was made, the way people work.
Yeah.
For example, from Cats, one thing that I've learned a lot, apart from the things that I told, and Rufus is, if he's still here, he'll be able to confirm this, that the half part of the film, which was with another choreographer, I learned something so important about work,
Yes.
which is resilience. I mean, this guy, it's probably, if I have to put in one
Nice.
hand, he's going to be top 5 among the top 5 most
Cool.
resilient people I ever worked with. Mestre João
That's.
Grande, the master who signed this hat, it's
Yeah.
probably the most resilient person I have ever met. I never seen anything like. You have to tell him, Mestre, you have
Yeah.
to stop teaching now. Let's go home. Just resilience. When there was a pandemic, Mestre João Grande said something so beautiful,
Yeah.
because everybody was panicking, and right so, but a lot of
Yeah.
people were
Yeah.
panicking because of class stopping, right? And Mestre João Grande, when asked, he said, it's also part of a capoeirista sometimes to close. Capoeiristas
Yes.
have to learn to
Yeah.
open and have to learn to
Yeah.
close. So simple, but so true. So he was saying, let's not panic. If we need to close,
Yeah.
we need to
Yeah.
close. And I was like, that's true. Because again, we were going, oh my
Yeah.
God, oh
Yeah.
my God. Of
Exactly.
course,
Yeah.
livelihood and everything.
Yeah.
I understand that everybody panicked. But he was right. He was right about moments to close. Anyway, he's very resilient, né? Tô vendo a mensagem aqui, desculpa. So with Cats, for example, it was extremely rewarding for me to meet the artist and to see how resilient this guy was. He was so resilient. Everything was going so bad, so difficult, so hard. And he was just delivering. Saying,
Yeah.
I am going to do my best. If this does not work out, this does not work out. but I am going to leave these doors knowing that I did my
Nice.
best. And
Cool.
I think he did.
Cool.
He did his
Nice,
best.
Mestre. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much,
all.
everybody that
Again,
joined.
this was my second
Yeah.
time. I hope I did well. I thank you because like I
You did
said at the
very well.
beginning, I want to discover more about capoeira through different stories, you know. And I had the idea I had for like months, but never came to fruition, you know. And I was like, why not? Just let's try it out. So last week the first one with
Yeah.
Muito Tempo. Then I shortly
Wonderful.
after I contacted you and you to do it. It was really nice,
Yeah.
and I want to
Wonderful.
ask so many capoeiristas, masters, teachers around the world just to listen and so they can share their stories,
Yeah.
you know, so that other people can also listen and pick things out of it to make something out of it, you know.
Absolutely. Please let us know, guys, because what Spiritu said now really means a lot to us. I mean, I'm a little because I don't go on Facebook. I don't even know if I have a Facebook account anymore. There's something about Facebook doesn't work for me. But I am a lot more on Instagram. And I am trying, yes, of course I want to build, and I do want to build, obviously, but I am interested in finding more meaningful ways that when I look back, I can go, oh, okay, there's some content, you know, there's something interesting about this. Oh, there's some interesting message. Good afternoon. I'm Brazilian. I live in the state of São Paulo. My academy closed doors. Menos masters are getting old and capoeira is losing strength. Oh, what a sad thing. I'm afraid we're not going to have time to address that, but I have read your comment here. So what I was going to say, I'm very interested. So please let us know, guys. Send us a message. I'm happy to. People ask me things on Instagram, and I try my very best to answer because I do want to have meaningful conversation. And we touch upon a few things here that I think some people stayed throughout because they resonate with them. But even the fact that we have reconnected and we remembered our first game and how magical that is, because I know when we talk about the past in capoeira, it's hard. You know, it's not really something to go, oh, yesterday I played like this. Oh, do you remember when? No, but there are moments that mark someone's career, that mark a moment in someone. Né? And yes, and I think Kimberly just joined us. How wonderful. Kimberly, se você puder voltar às 5 horas da tarde de Brasil, a gente vai estar falando. Oh, can I be actually rude and show my book just before we finish? After all these wonderful things, he's gonna pluck the book. He's gonna I'm gonna do what all writers do, which is any opportunity, because you know it's actually more for archive. But that's the book that we're gonna talk about when I do the live, and I'm gonna send you a copy as a present. So when we finish here, you can send me your address and the posted name for me to send it to you. Okay. So at 5 o'clock, be rude for the love of capoeira. I love that. So 5 o'clock, I'm going to do a raffle for the book. Okay. Espírito, thank you so much again.
Thank you very
Muito
much.
obrigado.
And again, I hope I can invite you someday to my hometown to event. But we're gonna work it out. We're gonna work some things out. But I want to have you here one day, so we can reconnect again. We can get with the games, and
we'll do it.
Yeah,
and
train, exactly. Exchange
and train together.
And with this conversation what we had, I learned a lot of things. So thank you very much.
Obrigado. Me too. Thank you so much, man. And love to the family.
Abraço. Bye, people.
Abraço. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.